Hey everyone, welcome back to Sarah Wild Create and Educate. Today we're going to be using the knife blade on the Cricut Maker. I was really looking forward to using this, so I decided we're going to make a cake topper to say goodbye to 2020. Thank God. There's two cake topper options. One for my vulgar soulmates that says 2020, and the other one that says bye 2020. That's for the less vulgar people, or you know, the ones that have kids that can read. I'm just going to go through some of the materials you're going to need for this. First, you'll need one of the SVG files, which you can find down below in the description. You're going to need Mod Podge. I used the outdoor sealer. Doesn't matter which you use, as long as it seals. You do you. You will need acrylic paint. I've decided to use black licorice. Black like the soul of 2020. You will need different paintbrushes for both the Mod Podge as well as the acrylic paint. 10 3/8 Winsor & Newton brush that's angled. Gets in all those crevasses. I also have number 6 Artist Loft. Number 9 round brush. Artist Loft. Number 1 Artist Loft. And then we have this little guy, number 5 Artist Loft. If you want to use a finishing spray, make sure it's non-toxic. This is a cake topper we're talking about. We do not want nasty things to get into your cake. This goes for your paint as well. You'll need painter's tape, chipboard. You're also going to need either the deep point blade for the Cricut Explorer 2 or the knife blade. And of course, you're going to need a cake. I've picked Rainbow Bit Betty Crocker Super Moist. So after you download the SVG files that I've created, you're going to open up Cricut Design Space. Once you're on the home page, you'll see My Projects, and you're going to click New Project. This will open up a blank canvas, and this is where we're going to upload our SVG file. So you go to Upload and Upload Image. Browse to where you saved. I love my folder names. If you decide to cut both, you can upload both of them, but you have to upload them one at a time. So we're going to open the first one, and it automatically has removed all that nasty gray that's around the image. That usually happens when you have a JPEG or another image file. This is why I love SVG files. And we're going to click Save. Now these SVG files I actually created in Adobe Illustrator, and that's a future tutorial that I'll be doing. So you'll notice here that I actually have 2 Fuck 2020s uploaded. And that's because I didn't really join certain areas. So this is what happens, if you can see that. So because I didn't have the U connected to the C and I forgot to connect the O down here, it literally is a Fuck 2020, right? So I've recreated that. That was my little test. And you're going to choose Fuck 2020, Insert Images. So now I had this sized for like 5.825, but I actually like it a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it 6 inches. And where you can do that is up in the toolbar here, you'll see size. Ensure that this is locked. So you want to lock the proportions, and you're going to make this, you can double click on it, into 6. So just an even number. There we go. So we're going to upload the second one. You go to Upload, Upload Image, Browse, and there's the second one. I'm going to save that, click on it, and Insert Images. This one's a little bit bigger. We're going to change the width to 6.5. So now you have your 2 cake toppers ready to be cut. I like to save my project just in case. We'll just call these 2020 cake toppers. And then we're gonna go to make it. So this shows you your 2 boards that you're gonna create. And because we're gonna tape down the chipboard, which you'll see in a second with the preparation, I like to move my 2 files away from the border as much as possible. Just give it an inch of space, 1 little square, that's perfect. Then you're gonna hit continue. Make sure your machine's on. And you're gonna choose the maker or whatever machine you have. So for me, we're gonna browse all materials and just type in chipboard. So I'll just type in chipboard here. And I actually have the 1.5 millimeter. On the Explorer Air 2, there is a dial that you have to change to custom. And under custom, you're gonna search the materials and look for chipboard. The first thing we're gonna do is take out the premium blade housing if it's in your B slot. And we're gonna put in the knife blade. Just make sure that the gold part in the back is kind of connected with the gold part on the back of the housing as well. And you're gonna close the clamp. Trying to do this with one hand. There we go. Perfect. And one more thing before we calibrate, you're gonna take these little guys on the roller and move them all the way to the right. There's 4 of them. Because we're cutting a thicker material, we don't want that to show up on our chipboard. You will have to calibrate your knife blade if you are using it for the first time. If it doesn't pop up once you're in the cut mode, you can actually, this is why it's a good thing to save, you can go to the hamburger menu here, go to home, and then choose calibration. And that way you can go through the process of setting up your knife blade if you haven't used it before. So we have our base material set to chipboard. It does tell you to move the star wheels all the way to the right. And it even tells you to use masking tape on all 4 sides, which is perfect. So you take your purple strong grip mat, your masking tape or your painter's tape, as well as your chipboard or whatever you're using to cut. And we're gonna put it in the top left-hand corner of the board. You notice it doesn't take the full 12 by 12 space either. So taking your tape, you're gonna take a piece, you're gonna take a piece the length of the chipboard, and you're gonna tape this on as well. So it doesn't move in the machine, even though it says strong grip. It always tells you to tape these things down. And you're gonna do this on all 4 corners. We have our knife blade loaded and we are ready to cut. Okay, so we are going to insert the board. Don't forget to press the flashing arrow key. And we are ready to cut. Now this does say it's going to take a super long time to cut. Right now it's cutting 1 out of 12 passes. You can go check on your cake. You can get your other supplies ready. This is going to take a while. Once it's done finishing all the passes that it needs to cut, you're going to make sure that it actually went through by just lifting a piece off the board, which I'll show you. Now that it's done its passes, you can check the cut by just peeling up certain areas on the board. So before you remove the mat, confirm your cut went all the way through the material, and even Cricut Design Space asks you to do that. Looks like it's cut all the way through in all the spots, then you're good to go and you can unload the mat. As soon as you unload the mat and you try to load it again to try to do another cut pass, it's not going to line up properly. All right, now that you've checked your cuts, everything looks good. we can start to paint. Now with chipboard, it does warp if you apply anything wet to it. So I have seen where you use Mod Podge before you apply the paint, just to give it that protective surface. But I'm just gonna go ahead and start painting. Since I just used a scrap piece of paper, and we're just gonna go around. This is non-toxic paint. You can always use Mod Podge afterwards just to seal everything. And the reason I use Mod Podge to seal stuff is it is also non-toxic. If you use a spray sealer, it's definitely toxic and not food friendly. Now I won't apply too much paint onto the point that goes into the cake itself. I will use Mod Podge though, because cakes are moist and moistness causes this tip to get droopy. So make sure you get all the edges here. You can even do the back of this once this is dry. Just make sure we got all these little corners here. You can even take your little brush and scoop out any extra paint. I seem to use a lot. I think I got every nook and cranny here. All right, I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna do that Byeeeee 2020 in glitter. So I'm probably gonna get this everywhere. So with this, what you're gonna do, take your Mod Podge. I'm gonna take the bigger brush, try to get it all around. Byeeeee 2020. Bye. I am the world's messiest crafter. I'm not gonna lie on that one. Okay, I haven't used loose glitter in a very long time. I might just sprinkle it on using my hands, we'll see. Putting glitter in my stuff. So I suggest if you're gonna do this, maybe even paint a coat of whatever color you need underneath. Oh my God. Now that your cake topper of choice has dried, and whether or not you chose to add finishing touches with Mod Podge or glitter or non-toxic finishing spray, you can now insert it into your cake. Here's the Byeeeee 2020 and my personal favorite, the Fuck 2020. However you celebrate New Year's this evening, I hope it's amazing. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys next year.